pretty flowers showing in the shot. Okay. Hello there. Welcome to the Little Fish Stitches podcast. My name is Megan. I am the host of your podcast. My podcast, not your podcast. This podcast that you're watching. I just want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time joining me, welcome to a little bit of crazy. If this is not your first time, you've come back for more crazy. Thanks for joining me again. I've been gone a little bit longer than I normally would be. I try to make this a weekly podcast, but I've been having some health issues lately that have prevented me from sticking to my schedule. So, just a quick note on that. I want to say to everybody who has said they're praying for me or wishing me to get better or, just giving general encouragement, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been a rough month, I will admit that, and thankfully I have knitting to help keep me sane. But I will get a little bit more into detail on the health issues in life stuff near the end of the podcast. So if you want to hear as much as I feel like I can share what's been going on, you can stick around for that. Let's see here. So I've introduced myself. My name is Megan. There, I introduced myself again. Like I said, the crazy. Yeah. And I am a married woman. I have been married for 17 years. My husband, Brian, is an amazing man, and I love him dearly. And we have two boys. His two boys. Well, they're both his, but our older son James is 13, and our younger son Connor is 8. Yeah. Had to think about it for a minute. I keep thinking he's 9 lately for some reason. Anyway. Yes, so let's see here. I may be a little scatterbrained today because I'm still not feeling very great, but I miss podcasting, so I'm back. And I don't know if you can tell, my voice is a little funny right now. I don't know what's up with that. I think I have a bit of a cold going on among everything else that I've been dealing with. So, breathe. Okay. Let's do a little bit of what am I wearing. This is my Stormy Sky shawl that I test knit. I think it was back in late winter sometime. February-ish, I think. Anyway, I knit this out of Dark Side of the Moon, which is a colorway by Dye for Knitting on Etsy. And I love this shawl. It's so bright and crazy and colorful. And I like to wear it with this bright yellow shirt because it's just loud. And sometimes I feel like being loud. So there you go. Yes. So that's what I'm wearing. Now for a little bit of admin. So I have finally locked the thread for the Campsite Along Cal. I had a whopping 2 other people besides myself finish and post in that thread. So this morning, before my 8-year-old went off to school, I had him help me draw for the winner. So you will see the results of that in a little video clip that I'm going to insert right here. Okay, Connor, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go like this. What number did you pull?
2.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. Do you know what we're doing here? Do you remember? Show me the number. Okay. that means the second person, not me, who put a finished object in their thread for the campsite along knit along is the winner of the cowl. Does that make sense at all? Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, now that you've seen, congratulations. I will put your name up on the screen so you know that it's you. Please contact me and I will get your address and ship off your prize to you. Now, just so you know, the prize is going to be, I'm going to show you one here. One skein of my Land Before Time colorway. And it's not complete yet, so I will have to show you pieces, but it will be complete before I ship it off, I promise. The Christmas bag that I'm going to be releasing this Christmas. So I've got the main fabric is this wood grain with wildland animals and ferns and plants and trees and whatnot. And the contrast is this red, white, black plaid. So I think this is very cute. So this will be your prize once I sew it together, which I'm hoping is soon, but life. So, prize. So that is done. Campsite Along Cowl is officially finished. So then I am trucking along towards the 100 YouTube subscriber giveaway. I have recently had a jump in followers on Instagram, so I need to maybe push it a little there. I don't know. I'm over 400 subscribers on Instagram now. Not subscribers, followers. But I'm at 77 as of this morning for my YouTube subscribers. So we're getting there. Can't wait to hit that 100 subscriber mark so that I can give away another bag and a skein of yarn. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. So places you can find me. Here, obviously. And then Instagram and Ravelry and Facebook and email. I will list these all off for you right about here, probably. And then, let's see here. I suppose that's all my admin stuff. I guess it's time for the fun part, the knitting part. I have 3 finished objects for you. Except, I can't show you one in person. I will insert a photo here. I knit the Roxy the Hippo by Lauren of Lolo Did It. The pattern, she wrote the pattern. And she's been doing all those hippo yarns in her shop, which is probably why she designed a hippo pattern. But anyway, so we've got Roxy the Hippo, which I finished in the car on my way over to Eastern Washington last weekend. Not last weekend, the weekend before. And handed off to my great niece. So that was a gift for my great niece, but you will have seen the photo by now, and it turned out so stinking cute. I knit the hippo in my own colorway, which is I was looking over to see if I could grab a skein because I have one sitting right there. But it's my own colorway. Can't even remember my own colorways right now. Happy Go Lucky. Finally. Good grief. And I love that color. Honestly, it might be my favorite of all my colors. So, yes. Happy Go Lucky Hippo. And then the contrast color in the pale pink was a wool and silk blend that I got in my very first wool swap package. And I used it in my Find Your Fade shawl as well. So I cannot remember what brand it was right now. It was definitely indie dyed though. But it's just a beautiful, pale, blushy pink. So, and it worked really well with the Happy-Go-Lucky. Yes, and then actual finished objects that I can show you in person. I'm sitting here playing with the tassels. Sorry, you guys. I can't help myself. So, a couple weeks ago when I last podcast, this was a work in progress, and on the aforementioned road trip, these became a finished object. Sorry, they are worn and a little dirty because I wore these last week and have yet to get around to washing my hand knits. But these are my Bellatrix Socks. This is my nomadic yarns that I got a month or so ago, and I could not resist. I had to cast it on like ASAP. And then I did the heels. I did a fish lips kiss heel and cuff. I did the cuff, heels and cuff. The toe is just the nomadic yarns, but the heel and the cuff are Lolo did it in the Pretty Little Zombies colorway. And two full socks. I had half of one sock done. I think I had just finished the first heel when I left for the road trip. By the time I came home, I had a full pair. That's how much knitting I got done after I finished the hippo. So that was quite a bit of knitting in a short amount of time. But when you drive from Aberdeen to Walla Walla and then sit on the couch in Walla Walla at your sister's house for a couple of hours and chat and visit with your family, and then spend the next day driving from Walla Walla to Spokane with a stop in between at the Tri-Cities where you meet up with knitty friends and knit some more. And then you drive from Spokane back to Aberdeen. You have plenty of time for knitting. Especially when you're not the driver, which I was not. That was my younger sister, because she has the nicest car. So, anyway, so I got lots of knitting done on that trip. I was very happy with that, and I love these socks. I just love them. So, finished object number 2. Let's see here. I'll just set these out of the way over here, and then finished object number 3. I knit a pair of socks. Another pair of socks. I never thought I would become a crazy sock knitter, but apparently I'm gonna. So I knit these out of the striped is Felici in the Cheshire colorway, and the contrast toe, heel, cuff, hey, I said it in the right order, is my own colorway, Meet Me in Tahiti. So I just, honestly, the reason these got started was I needed a don't need to think too much knitting project to take to the ER with me, which meant yarn I did not have to cake up, which was the Felici, and this. So that's how those came into being. I knit those starting on Monday morning last week and finished them on Thursday afternoon, evening sometime. 4 days for one pair of socks. I'm kind of impressed with myself, you guys. 4 days. So, yeah. Awesome socks. Haha. So, thinking of socks, I decided to make my little family of socks here. Now, you're going to laugh at this. Here's my little guy, Connor. His feet, you'd expect about for a 6-year-old. He's 8. Then there's my duck feet. Then there's my husband and my son. Look at this, you guys. My 13-year-old, almost 14-year-old son has feet bigger than my husband. How does that happen? He's going to be taller than my husband, too. I tell you right now, he's going to be taller. So, and I just now noticed this. My family, they all got one foot, their feet one way, and mine went the other way. I don't know. Anyway, my hope is that at some point in the next few weeks I can get Christmas socks started for my guys, because they have all shown interest in having me knit them a pair of socks. So it might actually happen. I think I want to put socks in their stockings that I still need to knit for them. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. I gotta get those stockings started. Somehow obligation knitting, though, never makes me very happy. Anyway. So, that's all my finished objects. All 3 of them. So now moving on to works in progress. I'm looking at my book over here sitting beside me. Okay, let's start with Brian's sweater, which is living in the Stitch and You bags, the little birdie bag, because I still haven't gotten very far of it on it, but I had to put my, it's nothing better than sweater weather pin on this bag. So let's see here. So I've made a decent amount of progress on this in the last 2 weeks. See where the hamburger is? I've moved about 4 inches above it, so I think I have I think I have to get to 14 inches on this, if I remember right. I need to check the pattern. I haven't worked on this in like a week and a half. A week? Something like that. Anyway, I'm making progress on it. So, now that you guys have seen this, little hamburger is going to move up. If I can... That's the one thing I don't like about these, is they're hard to get open. Alright. There. Hamburger moved up. So, I'm knitting this sweater out of Malabrigo Rios and the Cereza colorway. This is the Donegal sweater by Moira Engel, and it's being knit on size 8 Chow Goose. So, we'll see if this thing gets done in time for Christmas. I hope so. I know Brian hopes so. But anyway, that's my Stitch and You bag. I love the little birdie bag. I'm going to have to move to a bigger bag soon, though. And then, let's see here. My vanilla socks with a twist are living in my Sunshine and Bubblegum cactus bag. So cute. Sunshine and Bubblegum. And I am knitting these out of my own colorway, which I'm calling Radioactive Barbie. And it's a vanilla sock, basically. But I'm just throwing purl stitches in there to make a twisted, bumpy pattern on here. And obviously doing these 2 at a time. Last I showed you guys these. There's the little stitch marker right here, little green star. That means I have done about 1.5 inches, it looks like. And on the back of each sock, I have started just plain stockinette so that I can be ready to do the heel in about another 5 or 6 rows. I'm hoping to have these done in the near future. I feel like these ones have been on the needle forever, but I'm okay with that. I mean, these have been my live in my purse project, so they aren't getting a whole lot of work done on them, but they're getting some. And then my third work in progress. Third active work in progress you guys have only seen on Instagram if you follow me there. And this is living in my That Crafty Little Fox bag. It's I think this is the smallest one she makes. I love the leather handle that she puts on these, and seriously, I think this is currently my favorite project bag that I haven't made. So, and as you can see, I've got some of my pin collection going on here. My geology bag, that's what I guess you could call it. And living in this bag, again, knit out of my own colorway, is this little adorable baby dress that I'm making for my my boss's baby, who is due December sometime. So I just got the sleeves knit yesterday and then attached to the body, and I've done a few rounds since attaching to the body, but this is called the Peacock Dress. I got it from the Knitting for Olive shop on Ravelry. The pattern is around $7, I think, but it has to be converted from something Dutch, I think, for price. So it's not exactly $7. It's $7 and change. But anyway, so this is the Peacock Dress, and the colorway that I'm using is the Sarah's Starburst colorway of mine. So it's striping just a little bit, but not too crazy. And this peacock, it really, I mean, it's really going to need to be blocked because it's really scrunched up right now. But I feel like I will be able to finish this by Saturday, which is when I need to have it done by. This is where my sister and I, the Sarah of Sarah's Starburst, and I are going to a baby shower for our boss on Saturday afternoon. So I need to finish this off. But since I started this, I'd have to say, let's see, I think I started it last Thursday night. Today is Tuesday. I don't think I ever said that. It's Tuesday, October 17th. And I have to have this done by the 20th so that it can be dry in time for the 21st. So, yeah, there it is. Almost done. So, I am knitting this on my ChowGoo Interchangeables size 3. And the chart was a little bit interesting to get used to reading because there's certain points where you're decreasing and increasing for the lace that do not say you need to pull from the last round and do your decrease that way. So using the last stitch from the previous round and the first stitch or two from the next round to decrease. And it never said that anywhere. And I was like, I was working on it late at night, the first night, and I was like, I was tired, so it stumped me. I could not figure out what was going on. Why is this off? It doesn't look right. So, in the middle of the night, my brain worked it out, and the next morning, I, like, oh, duh, I just got to take one from the previous round. So I did that. Everything worked. And then I was looking for something else about the pattern. I was looking at notes on Ravelry, and there were a bunch of people that had the same issue as I did, so, yeah. In general, I've been fairly happy with this pattern, although knitting the sleeves into the body has been a little awkward, because, I mean, it's finally getting to the point where it's not awkward, because then my cord can stretch out a little bit because of the growth of the sweater, but anyway. Oh, this yarn is a fingering weight, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And, so I think my boss can handle, keeping it, you know, in good shape. Yeah. Just as long as I tell her she needs to hang dry it and not put it through the dryer. Hopefully she can remember that. But this is her 4th baby. You never know. I won't be too insulted, though, if it ends up getting dried. But anyway, there's that. And this is the smallest size of the pattern, and I should be able to squeeze out the rest, I hope, out of this one single skein of yarn. But, yeah. I did knit the sleeves 2 at a time, because asking me to knit sleeves 1 at a time is like asking me to pull my own teeth or something. I can't do the same thing twice, apparently. It drives me crazy. So that is that. Got to get that finished, and I will hopefully have it as a finished object for you on the next podcast, but it might just be in photo form. And that is all my works in progress. I'd have to say I did work a little bit on my son Connor's blanket that has not seen any airtime lately. I think I did 3 rows. Saturday morning. Yeah. 3 rows on Saturday morning. Oops, sorry, I kicked the tripod. I was supervising my kids as they rearranged the living room for me because we have a large firewood rack that we keep out on our back deck in the summertime, so it's not taking up space in the house. And then in the fall and winter, we put the rack in our living room so that we have a large supply of firewood easily accessible for our fireplace. So they were doing that for me since I am not quite able to do things like that myself right now. Yeah. So, let's see here. That's when I worked on the blanket. That's what I was getting at, you guys. Sorry. So I was sitting in the living room, trapped by all the furniture, sitting in my chair, trapped by the couch and the coffee table. I'm just sitting there while they get things settled and knitting away on that blanket. Yeah. So I guess now it's time for acquisitions. And I, again, have way too many acquisitions. No, before acquisitions, let's talk a little shop here. First of all, in my shop for the month of October, which is my birthday month, you guys, I put on a, let's see here, what was it? I can't even remember right now. I'm having a sale. I will put it up on the screen, the info that you would need. So, a coupon code, for the month of October. So if you are interested in trying out any of my yarn or project bags or anything else that I think then go check out the shop and you will be able to use this coupon code that is now on the screen. So anyway, in the shop I will have this yarn, which you have seen, the Land Before Time, which my friend Jen of the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company, she did a challenge and said, hey, people, let's see what you come up with when you think of the Land Before Time movie. And this is what I came up with. And I'll insert my photo that I put on Instagram as well, because you will see from that how much I was inspired. So. And then, coming up in the shop, not quite ready for the shop yet, but I will show you, because this is what I worked on a little bit today. This is a bunch, let's see here, 4. Some of these are getting shipped out as prizes for other podcasts, but some of these will also be going into my shop. And you saw the Christmas one. So one of these Christmas ones is going off, and this is not all my fabric. I have more. I just did a couple of each to get some samples worked up and the ones shipped off that need to be shipped off. So this is one of 2 Christmas bags that I will be doing this year. And I have come up with a new size for my project bags, which I think I did actually talk about on my last podcast. My, I showed you the little, deer project bag, which is this fabric, which I'm going to make up a few for my shop, and yeah. So all of these are going to be the medium-sized bag, which will hold 2 to 3 skeins of yarn. I have my Sunset Highway sweater in my version of this bag right now, the medium size, and it's working out pretty well so far. So I've got this, and then I will have a few, not very many, a few. I did the collaboration with Jen of Perfect Stitch Fiber Company, again, for her 1-year shop anniversary. And the kits were this sheepy fabric and this dotty fabric. And one of her skeins of yarn, which I have yet to receive, Jen. But anyway, yeah, brain work, please. Anyway, so I made 10 bags of that print for her, but for myself, I decided I like this rose print. So I'm going to do sheepies and roses. So I will have, I'm making a bag for myself, a bag for Jen's mother because she requested one and all our kits sold out within just a couple hours, which was awesome. So I need to make one more for her mother for Christmas. So hopefully her mother doesn't watch my podcast. Anyway, so there will be one with the dotty fabric and one with the rosy fabric, and both with the main body fabric being the little gray and black sheep. Going into the shop as soon as I feel like I can get them made. So that is it, I think, for shop talk. I do have, a good chunk of yarn that is already dyed up, and I have some that is sold out that I think I'm going to relist as dyed to order. So, if you see something of mine, maybe via somebody on Instagram or something, and you don't see it in my shop, please feel free to let me know, because I do have yarn here to dye. So, if you're willing to be patient, like I know a lot of people who wait for indie dyed yarn are sort of, in a way, patient, then I would be happy to dye up a specific colorway for you. So that's all. That's all the shop talk for now. Okay, now moving on to acquisitions. Let's see here. I gotta rearrange a couple things. So these right here, and the socks or foot shapes under here. Okay, so I'm going to start with something that is fairly old. Not in a bad way, though. This lovely lady who goes to my church messaged me on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and she asked me if I would be interested in taking some of her stash. And I was like, all right, that's cool. So, I think it was the week before I went on my trip over to Eastern Washington. And, so I was like, she asked me if I was going to be around that week. And I'm like, no, sorry, I'm going to be, over in Eastern Washington. But if you want to leave it with my dad or my husband, then great, because they will be at home and probably at church on Sunday. And she's like, okay. So then I come home from, excuse me. I need a drink of water. Goodness, sorry. So I come home. I think it was from my trip to the ER the Monday after my weekend trip. And sitting on the steps to my parents' house from their garage were these 2 tubs of yarn. I was like, those mine? And Dad's like, yes, please take them. So, in the tubs were not 1, not 2, not 3, 6 sweater quantities of yarn. I'm like, holy guacamole, Dolores. Thank you. I think I will probably be sharing some of this with my mom. But I get first dibs because Dolores asked me first. So, so 1 sweater's quantity, and it looks to be, I think what she told me was, there was a yarn store or a craft store or something going out of business. And so she bought a bunch of the yarn that way. And these are brands that, or at least the wool ones are brands that I have not heard of. So this is Penguin Fleur de Laine. 100% Laine wool. So it's in this denim-y blue color. And this is 100% wool. It's worsted or maybe even Aran weight. Pretty sure it's just worsted. So there's this denim-y blue. And then there's this same brand, dusty rose color. And then there's this pretty teal color. So I'm pretty sure I'm keeping the teal. I will let Mom choose if she wants the pink or the denim-y color. And, you know, my mom, I think the denim color is more my mom's pace than the pink. But, yes, but definitely this one is mine. And then similar colors, which I will probably again keep the teal, but this one is Indicita. Oh, it's Plymouth yarn. Ha! Okay, so this is an old brand of Plymouth yarn. And this is alpaca. And ooh, it's so nice and soft. So there's this teal, which again I think I like better. And then there's this light blue. And there's this dusty pink. So, I don't know about that, you guys. The label says natural color, not dyed. I don't know about any pink or blue alpacas out there. But seriously, you guys, that's not... Wait, get these out of the way. Tub 1. Tub 2. Goodness. I'm like, this is a lot of yarn. I mean, probably enough for more than 6 sweaters. Seriously. But anyway, so now I have a humongous amount of yarn in my stash. That was basically someone else's de-stash. And it was a gift. So, not paying for yarn? Awesome! And then, when I was on my trip to Eastern Washington, part of that was meeting up with Jen of the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. And unfortunately, we only got to hang out for about an hour until my family dragged me away. But I walked into the store and it was like we've known each other quite a while. We've never actually met in person. It was so fun. I had so much fun. I was like, I don't want to leave yet. my family, they were so funny. We met at the Badger Mountain Urn Shop in the Tri-Cities area, which I can't remember which city it's in, but if you're from Washington, you know what the Tri-Cities are. Anyway, so there was a table near the front of the store, and then a seating area with couches in the back of the store. So Jen and I were sitting on the couches knitting and chatting, and my family, my mom and 3 sisters, were sitting up at the front of the store drinking coffee and chatting. And they had wandered off to find a Starbucks while Jen and I hung out at the Urn Shop, and then they came back and sat at the table and they're waiting for us. And every now and then I'd see an arm go up. And I'm like, dang it. And then it was like, dang it. Yeah. So, wasn't enough time. I think I need to plan another trip when I'm feeling a little better to just hang out for like a whole day. That would be so fun. Do like a little yarn hop thing around the area. Go check out some yarn shops I've never gotten a chance to see. So, anyway, I walked into the shop. And I saw Jen, and she knew that this month is my birthday, and she gave me this beautiful skein of yarn as a birthday gift. And chocolate cupcake, I think is what it's called. It doesn't have a tag on it, though, so I don't know for sure. But I love it. It's just so pretty, and I might need to make my next pair of socks out of it. Thank you, Jen. And then, move things from one side to the other here. I had asked her to bring a skein of this yarn, which is her narwhal birthday cake. And she did, and I gave her my payment for that, and I just love this. It's so many fun blue colors with little pops of pink and orange. It's on her sparkle base, glitz base, so it's 75 merino, 20 nylon, 5 gold stellina, and I think it's so pretty. So that will be added to my wall of yarn over here that you can't see. And then, while at Badger Mountain, sorry for the sniffles, you guys. There was a trunk show going on, and Spaghetti Yarns was there, and I did not realize this, but I've actually bought her yarn before, and she used to have a different name for her yarn, which I'm trying to think of it right now. I can't remember the name of her yarn before, but she's changed it to Spaghetti Yarns, and she's from Port Angeles. I used part of the other skein of yarn that I got from her via my local yarn shop, in my Find Your Fade shawl. So it was the There's a Parrot in My Candy Dish colorway. So lots of blues and greens, purples. So anyway, this is the one that I got from her at the trunk show. This is on her Sparkle Teeny base. And it's a 70-25, just like the last one I showed you. And the colorway is A Girl Has No Name. So, and I like her little spaghetti yarn with the little fork stuck in the ball of yarn. It's so cute. So it was fun to meet her in person, and when she told me what name she went by before, and I was like, I bought your yarn before. And I'm like, I go to the Black Sheep, and she's from Port Angeles. Not Port Angeles, Port Orchard. So, kind of on the peninsula. So she was a long way from home to do her trunk show. But it was good. It was fun, and it was great to meet up with her as well. Totally. I mean, I know she was going to be there, but I didn't, it's like whoosh kind of thing. So anyway, so that was all my acquisitions for the meetup with Jen, and I really was bummed that I missed meeting up with Lacey of the Knitted Cupcake podcast, because she was up there that weekend too, and Jen got to meet her. I'm like, I know Lacey in person, and it would have been great to see her again, but my family was like, so I had to go. I mean, I wasn't the driver. It's not like I could stay. Anyway, maybe some other time. We need to plan like a knitting weekend. That would be fun. Super, super fun. And then these came in, I don't know, like not too long after I did my last podcast. They've been sitting on my desk for quite a while. I put in an order with Bad Wolf Girl Studios not too long ago, and they came in the mail. So, Bad Wolf Girl Studios. This is the Wicked colorway, which I just love. I'm like, too many sock options. I'm like, So this is 75-25 superwash merino nylon. And then I got also Pinup Zombie. I just love bright colors, you guys. Can you tell that I love bright colors? I would be a walking rainbow, probably, if I could. And then yesterday, my wool swap package from New Zealand arrived. So, pardon the rustling here. Package from New Zealand. Let's see. First yarn. It's this fun autumnal purpley orangey colorway, and this is from Tutti Frutti Yarns, and it is I'm not sure, merino nylon blend. Labels are funny. 4-ply, 100 grams, gentle machine. Yeah. So this fun autumny, oops, let me undone, colorway. And I don't know, but I might need to make my mom a pair of socks out of this. That might be a good idea. These are definitely my mom kind of colors. And then there was this one, Darn Knit New Zealand, 4-ply sock yarn, 80/20 merino nylon, and it's in this really pretty purpley blue colorway. It does not say what the colorway is, so I don't know, but very pretty. That'll make a nice pair of socks too. See, I got socks on the brain, you guys. And then this one is very similar to the Wicked colorway. Look at that. Crazy! Ah! And this is from Yarn Junkie. Yarn Junkie Studio. And this is the Monster Mesh. And every time I say that, I get that silly song stuck in my head. And no, I'm not going to sing it for you. And then, 4th skein of yarn. That's we did a 4 skein exchange. Ha! Look at that, you guys. This is the one that makes me happy. And this is Fiber to Go. Squishy, lofty, 20% nylon, 80% merino. And I cannot tell what the colorway name of this one is, but I just love it. I don't care what the name is. It's pretty. It's loud. We have lots of crazy socks, you guys. And then, I'll pull the rest of this out. This cute little project bag that was included. Look at that. Little bowls of yarn. So cute. She included this goofy notebook. Cows. It just made me laugh. I'm like, huh, cows. They're like crazy art cows. They're kind of cool. And then coffee kiwis. Coffee kiwis. Tea towel. So this is a funny story. I already have a tea towel from New Zealand with kiwis on it. But it was a gift from one of my husband's coworkers who went to New Zealand for work. So, not the same as this one. It was like pop art style, you know, with all the different, same picture, different colors kind of thing. Can't remember who that is, but anyway, tea towel. I like it. I love tea towels, so that's great. And then she sent me this massive chocolate bar. Holy cow. Cow. I'm like, what is in this thing? It's creamy milk chocolate packed with cranberries, banana, protein puffs, and peanuts. That actually sounds kind of good. I'm like, this is humongous though. Seriously. 250 gram chocolate bar. And she sent me a bunch of little coffee packets. Because we decided, because she is a coffee drinker and I am a coffee drinker, not much of a tea drinker, either one of us. We sent each other different kinds of, well, I sent her one kind of coffee. She sent me a bunch of kinds of coffee, but I sent her a bunch of coffee, so. And then she sent me a little tube full of darning needles, which is always useful. And there is a pattern for a hat in here called Papa Tuanuku. Anyway. You can't see the picture very well, but pattern for a hat. And then a tube of lotion. High Country Lanolin. I love lotion. There was a little note in this envelope. And these cute little bright colored buttons. And a little teeny thing of hand cream, I think, like a bar lotion. And then, of course, the bag, which had this, also this, you can't see it very well. There it is. Cute little owl on the zipper pull. So cute. That was a good package, you guys. I really enjoyed opening this package yesterday. I was not feeling super great yesterday, and this cheered me up. Massive. It's like as big as my head. See, seriously, it's as big as my face. All right. I got the giggles. Yeah. So, that was a lot of acquisitions. Did I get all of them? Oh, nope. One more to show you. This is something I ordered. I think it was like March or April. Back in the springtime. And I pre-ordered it. So, it finally came this week. I had ordered it on Amazon, but I had been drooling over it for a long time, and it's finally here. So this is the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible, and this is a beautiful book, you guys. If you are interested at all in designing, this is an amazing resource for you. So, I mean, seriously, it is gorgeous. There are so many charts in here that you can use to make all sorts of beautifully cabled things, and I'm just like drooling. I'm like, I need to design something. I have a design in my head right now. I need to get it out on paper and then onto yarn, but it'll be a while. I don't know when I will be able to get to that. So that's all the nittiness. So I guess now I will jump into my life stuff. First, let's talk about the fun stuff. Well, I really already talked about the fun stuff. It was my knitting trip. My Eastern Washington trip. Okay, so I went on my trip to Eastern Washington. I got to give my great niece her little hippo and a hat and a little banner that I made for her. And so she is a little over a month old now, and she's so adorable, and I can't post any pictures because her parents don't want her on social media unless it's them posting. My nephew, being a law student, you know, he's, I guess, seen case law on things like this that it make him not want to have his child on social media, and that's his decision. So, so no pictures of baby, but she's adorable. You'll have to trust me. And then it was great to spend time with my mom and my sisters and do a lot of knitting, and we stayed one night at my sister's house and one night at a hotel in Spokane, and went out to dinner. We were going to go to the Olive Garden because it just sounded good. And we got to the Olive Garden and there was like an hour and 40-minute wait in Spokane. And we're like, no, we're too hungry for that. So we went across the parking lot to the Azteca Mexican restaurant and had dinner there. It was good. I would have preferred Olive Garden, but it was still good. And then, yeah. The weather was decent. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. And getting to stop at the yarn store in the Tri-Cities was so fun. I was so excited to just be able to meet somebody that I've known online, but not in person. Jen is such a sweetheart. I will pop a picture of us in here. You've probably seen it on Instagram, but that's okay. And I delivered the bags to her for the our collaboration for her shop anniversary kit, and she posted those at the end of last week in her shop, and they were sold out within just a couple hours, which was awesome. And so she she PayPal'd me my money for that, and yeah, so it was a good weekend. And then during this weekend, I've been dealing, I mentioned a little bit, sorry, my nose. I mentioned a little bit on my last podcast how I'm dealing with some numbness in my body. And it had started the day I did my, not the last podcast I posted, but the one before. It started that day as numbness in the soles of my feet. And over a process of a couple weeks, it traveled up my body. And by this weekend in Spokane, approximately 3 weeks after things got started, I was numb from the base of my rib cage down. Not 100% numb, and not on the surface numb. Like, I still have a little sensation in my skin if you touch me lightly, but if you use pressure, it feels numb. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it's like not the skin, but right below the skin is numb, and a little bit of the muscle. Anyway, so I called my neurologist the morning after getting home from the trip, and he told me to go to the ER, and so I did, and I spent 12-something hours at the ER while they did an MRI of my neck and upper spine. And what they discovered on that, which I found out the following day at my neurologist, was that I have something called transverse myelitis, which is really a symptom and not a diagnosis. It basically means that there is a spot on my spine, approximately around my sternum, that is the spinal cord is swollen. So there are quite a few things that could be. Right now, we still don't know for sure what's going on. I don't want to say until I know for sure what they think it is. But I know what they think it is, and they know, and like my close friends and family know. But, yeah, right now, we just don't know for sure. On Thursday morning, which is 2 days from now, I will be going to the hospital for a lumbar puncture. Yuck. And that will, give them a little more information, along with the last week on Wednesday, I had an MRI of my brain done. So MRI neck, upper spine, brain, lumbar puncture. All I know right now is something is wrong in my spine. And that's what's causing my body to be partially numb. So once the information on all of those tests is pulled together, I will find out, hopefully, what is going on. I won't find out the results of those tests for a couple of weeks now, though, because I'll actually find out on Halloween. Because the spinal thing, the lumbar puncture, the results from that take a minimum of about 10 days to come through. So I have to wait. not terribly happy about that, but I mean, what can you do? It's not like I can say, hey, process these ASAP, because I'm not dying. So, anyway, that is about where I'm at right now. I'm about 50% functional. I can sit and work for 2 to 3 hours at the most at a time. So that makes me very, very thankful that my job is very much friendly to that type of thing happening. My boss she's like, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And do what you can for work. Don't push yourself. So I very much appreciate that. But at the same time, I'm like, I am the one who sews all these products for our business. I got to be able to do something. And thankfully this week last week I was like barely doing anything. This week, 2 days so far in a row that I've worked, and I've managed to prep a lot of stuff that I already had sitting here ready to go. Normally on Thursdays I would be going to work with my sister and the other employees out in Ocean Shores, but that's not happening this week because I get to go to the hospital instead. Yeah. But, yeah, so life is not all fine and dandy at the moment, and I know that's kind of a downer, but that's where I'm at right now. And besides the fact that I am dealing with health issues, my dad got colon cancer, which we just found out about the same time I found out about my thing, and so he's going through his stuff, and I'm going through my stuff, and we're a bunch of hot messes in my family right now. So continued prayers would be appreciated for both me and my dad. So, yeah. And now, I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. Oh, I just wanted to see these pretty flowers here. My son's best friend's mother sent those home with my son on Saturday. He had spent some time at their house, and he came home with those, and she grew them in her garden. She's an amazing gardener. She's also a teacher at my younger son's school, so she's a very sweet lady, and I'm glad that she's part of my kid's life. So, yeah. So she's those are from her. Not that she watches my podcast, but thank you, Michelle. I already told her thank you via text, but yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I keep playing these tassels. They're like little fidgets. Like, if I can't knit, I'll play with a tassel. So, yeah. So that's been my week. Life has been kind of crazy. I have not left my house since Friday, other than to take my son to school yesterday and today. But my Fitbit wants me to walk. That ain't happening. Yeah. So I've got lots of knitting done. That is the one thing that has been good throughout this whole medical mess, is knitting has happened, and I love knitting. So lots of it has happened, and I've been very, very thankful, because it has literally helped keep me from losing my mind. If I had to be stuck at home in a chair or in my bed and not be able to knit, like just stuck watching TV all day. I mean, I watch TV all day while I knit, but at least I'm knitting. Oh, I'm too much of a do things kind of person to not be doing something. So knitting has definitely saved my sanity this past couple of weeks. So, and on that note, I'm going to say I'm done. If you were the winner of the Campsite Along Cow, please contact me with your address so that I can get that off to you. And happy knitting. Don't go crazy. Yeah. All right. I will talk to you all later. Bye. Guys, I forgot to show you something. Is that not the cutest thing ever? This was part of my acquisitions, and I totally forgot to show you. So cute.